Hey Albuquerque, this is Brian Erlacher. You're listening to the New Mexico Motorsports Report with David Swope on ESPN Radio 1017 The Team.
The pit stop is over. Let's return to the New Mexico Motorsports Report on Facebook and at nmmotorsportsreport.com. Now, back to the New Mexico Motorsports Report, presented by Yearwood Performance, Albuquerque Dragway, the Unser Racing Museum, and Swope Real Estate. Here is David.
Absolutely. All right, welcome back to the New Mexico Motorsports Report here on ESPN Radio 1017 The Team. And joining me in the studio, Michael Gonzalez with Cafe Bella, and I don't know, how many different, you have like 17 probably different jobs, right?
We like to party. Like Dan Brockett says, we like to party.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about those guys, though? I think that they start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and they go all night, I mean, I'm kind of done by about 3:30. So, how are you doing as an old man hanging with those guys?
I go to Dan's events. He's like a 3-day wonder.
Oh,
and then all the work to get up to it. So Dan Brockett's beast. We love him. I love his videos. I keep showing people. I did some travel last month, and I was showing everybody the videos, and I'm like, those are our guys, man. So it's awesome. He reps hard. He works hard. And it's working out for him. He's got a baby now.
I know. He's getting all domestic.
Hard. Yeah. No, it's cool. We love our people, man. We love our event promoters and people out there doing the grind because must be present to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, so you've recently kind of got in with the tuner sport guys. I mean, your son, kind of brought you in there. You first thought, hey man, it's not my scene. I don't want to come in and couch it, but I mean, with what's going on with low car, what's going on with the elite tuner, coming in and I mistakenly said 10th annual, but no, it's on the 10th.
Yeah.
So you got to go out and check that out. But tell us about when it gets going and where it is and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Elite Tuner focuses. Their claim to fame is high energy events, tuner events. And they're national. If you go to EliteTuner.com, they're all over the place. They're in NorCal. They're in Florida. So it's really cool to be able to bring or participate in an event with a group that does a national tour of events, a national schedule. So they're already, it's December and they're calling this their season closer. So they're like us. They like to party all year long. So I love that. But no, it's a different scene. There's a big import, overtone, stance, bag, static, that whole vibe, hard parking in a closed environment. They do two-step competitions. They do limbo competitions a lot of times. Sometimes they'll have an event at like a drag strip and do a combo, kind of like the old school Hot Summer Nights type thing.
Absolutely.
But this is all new school, and yeah, you're right. My son's younger. He's into this, and he grew up with cars, and he just told me one day, he's like, Dad, you need to bring your stuff over to these events because I think they'll like it.
Yeah.
And so we did. We started crossing over, and it's that whole evolution thing. It's like what we do at the cafe.
Yeah.
We invite the young people when they're in middle school to come, or elementary school with their family, to come and check out our events and do things, and that's the future. If you don't invest in the future, if you don't share, if you don't mentor, if you don't get involved, you kind of die out.
Mm-hmm.
So, we learn from the people above us. And we're getting into this. So no, I like these events. We've done a couple low class events. That's a different group.
Right.
They're out of Texas. They do kind of like a regional thing, and we're happy to go back with them. And we've had really good success at their events. But it's a different market. It's a completely different market. Things that are inclusive rather than exclusive really stick out to me because that's kind of how we are. All rides, all styles, all years, all makes, that whole thing. So it's good for us to get out there and participate in other events, and it gives me a break. I don't have to host an event.
Well, and what I'd love for you to share with people is what is maybe the one misconception people have, older people, the ones that are doing the other car shows around town, that misconception they maybe have of this group?
Well, I think it goes both ways. No, and it's not combative. It's just honest. Just don't be a jerk, right? Like if you've got.
Sometimes life is that simple. Don't be a jerk.
If you've got a '69 Camaro, and it's a Yenko Tribute, and you've done this Restomod LS, and it's got the big meats on it, and you've got this expensive chassis on it, and you roll up to where there's a bunch of young people. Some of them are going to go, "Hey, that's a cool car,"
right?
But they're not going to bow to you,
right?
they were up all night trying to get the coilovers on their car so they could drive it down the street. So they're you 60 years ago.
Right.
So don't hate.
Right.
Remember air shocks and traction bars and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
remember the
absolutely.
parents that were like, what are you doing to your car? Okay, don't be that guy.
No, that's true. No, that's true. But I have a little bit of insight because when I was running the Speedway and I met Dan kind of at the beginning of this whole thing, and so I'll keep an eye out. And I've gone out there. I've taken some shots of some of the most amazing work that I've seen on the turbochargers and what those guys are doing on the drift side. So I have no doubt that the future of motorsports is with those guys, and it may be different. As a matter of fact, I mean, electric cars are not that far around, and I'm sure that there's going to be some cool stuff that people are doing modding those things.
Oh, they're here.
So,
That's happening all over
so,
the place.
I mean, you got something like that we can see with the tuner guys?
Well, one of the invitations earlier before I registered to participate, a local person that owns a lowered Tesla hit up our channel like, hey, are you coming to this event? Like, tagged us.
Awesome.
And we weren't even involved with it yet. So, you start looking into it. But yeah, open mind, take a look at the new technology. Like the drift guys, they spend, if you can drive, you can drive.
Right.
You talk to Dan, he's like, it's not about parts, it's about driving, it's about seat time. Cool,
Right.
got that. But beyond that, when they start getting into competitive class levels on the drift side, the custom geometry for the drift knuckles, for the different brands of vehicles,
Right.
being able to do them, the high revving, they're more like a two-stroke dirt bike. They got to go bop, 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 bop.
That's true.
And
That's
different things like that. Okay, you walk up to a group like that and you talk to them about Mustang 2 suspension. They're like, dude, what's a Mustang 2? They don't even know.
Yeah, we had to live through the, when all of a sudden we had to have the catalytic converters and all that stuff, started before everybody started stealing them. But anyway,
Plutonium, no.
Yeah. So what time is this event? I mean,
Yeah.
is there any cost to the public?
Yeah, there's a fee to walk in. I mean, they have Manuel Lujan, and then they're doing outside activities, so they're planning the two-step. So it'll be, similar to the Super Nationals, probably footprint.
Okay.
It's similar.
Okay.
And so it's inside, outside, but to get in, to get into the grounds and the park and the whole thing, how the Expo next, they got to be sustainable.
Yep.
So, I believe it's $25 to walk in and participate at this show, which is, around the country, it's average. It's a little steep for our market, but, this is not an inexpensive hobby.
Right.
You got to know that when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and if it's not for you, just wait till all the content comes out. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be doing lives. I'm going to be doing pictures. Whatever, man.
Sure.
It's for everybody. But yeah, this entry is at 3:00 for these guys, and they go till 8 p.m. Those of us that are displaying and involved with the show, we're going to meet up at like 10 or 11 and then load in and do all the big hoopla. But no, looking for a good day. It's just a regular weekend in the world of an enthusiast. We had tacos and rides last night.
Right.
We're here with you today, which is awesome.
Yep.
Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome.
And then, and then today we have this event, and then tomorrow, Toys for Tots.
That's right.
16th annual.
And that's 16th annual.
16th annual Toys for Tots.
What's kind of involved there? I mean, when you bring it, I mean, Toys for Tots. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? It's toys for Tots.
It's in the name.
I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it's like, is it wrapped, unwrapped? I mean, is there a
It
dollar value you're trying to hit?
Yeah, on the technical side, this is a national program. We support the United States Marine Corps. Paul Caputo is the liaison. Okay, so this is to support the Marines. So I talked to Paul last night, and he asked me to clarify how we do that. It's not a official Marine sanctioned event because they're not carrying the insurance for it. Okay, so there's an aptitude thing there. But we are working directly with them, so there's no mystery where it's going. And once they get a hold of the assets, the toys, it's like a mission. They take it to a facility.
Yep.
There's a criteria for vetting, but it's new, unwrapped toys, non-plush are their preference.
Okay.
Or you can do a cash donation. Now, for this show to be, we call it the show and shine. I was talking to Drew Garcia. This is the 16th annual, but like the first years was Drew Garcia.
Right.
And then it changed hands, and now, Joe Cowling's had it.
Yep.
He's the primary on this, and we support him 100%. So, so it's new unwrapped toys. Load in for this is 9:30. Starts at 9:30, and what your entry fee for the show and shine for prizes and trophies is a $20 value of a new unwrapped toy. Okay, and preferably non-plush. The reason they say non-plush is because they get soiled, they're hard to manage, and there's different things inside them.
Makes sense.
If they do end up with plush, I've seen in the past the Marines, what they do is they categorize those, and they assign those to public safety, so that when children, like if their house burns and you have a small child that needs some temporary comfort, they'll hand that. So it gets used, but their preference is two things: new unwrapped toys for all ages. And then you're welcome to do cash donations. Paul Caputo's really good. He has relationships with lots of retailers. So all the cash that they get, he's able to maximize it. Sometimes they'll double up on him. They'll give him 2-for-1s or some really stuff. I've known Paul for a very long time. Yeah. He's huge in this community. He does the toy run on the motorcycle side, and they call him Pops. Everybody knows him. He's been around for a long time. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So we're happy to do this. We got a crap load of sponsors going on. Did you know that we have New Mexico Motorsports Report as a sponsor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, but true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys will be there. That's awesome.
Let's take a quick break. Let's pay a few bills. I had
Sure.
to stay over,
Sure.
and we got to talk
Thank
some
you.
more about it. And,
Absolutely, thanks.
And other ways that maybe people could get involved if they can't make it out.
Sure.
But you've been listening to the New Mexico Motorsports Report here on ESPN Radio, 101.7 The Team.
ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team with David Swope, the fastest radio host in the West.
Hey Albuquerque, this is Joey Logano, driver of number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford, and you're listening to the New Mexico Motorsports Report with David Swope on ESPN Radio Albuquerque 1017 The Team.
The pit stop is over. Let's return to the New Mexico Motorsports Report on Facebook and at nmmotorsportsreport.com. Now, back to the New Mexico Motorsports Report, presented by Yearwood Performance, Albuquerque Dragway, the Unser Racing Museum, and Swope Real Estate. Here is David.
All right, welcome back to the New Mexico Motorsports Report here on ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team. And motorsports and cars is definitely one of the biggest passions in the state of New Mexico. We all know that one of the main reasons is we don't get a lot of snow, we don't get a lot of weather, so we don't get that salt on the road that tears up cars. But I always love having Mike Gonzalez in the studio because we share that passion, but we also have day jobs. And I wanted to give you a shout-out. Congratulations. 10 years with Cafe Bella.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's not an easy job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Yeah, January 11th is our official 10 year, and you kind of wake up and you're like, whoa. Yeah. It's been a decade. Yeah.
I want to know where this decade went, this last decade, because the New Mexico Motorsports Report will celebrate 10 years on the first weekend in February.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, can you imagine
that? 1 month difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. It's just you get in there and you do it. Yeah. You must be present to win. Get up every day. Someone told me a long time ago, and a lot of people probably have heard this. There's 20. You're complaining about your time and what you can't do and what you want to do, and some wise person looks at you. Everything gets quiet, and they go, "You know what? There's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it?"
I guess you could sleep when you're dead, right?
Yeah. And that's so true.
I do got to ask you though. I mean, you come from Seattle.
I was raised in Seattle. Yeah, born here.
So I got to ask you though. The Seattle coffee was kind of like the big place that I remember that coffee became kind of a lifestyle and kind of really more thing. Is that part of your impetus for opening Cafe Bella?
Oh, absolutely.
Any of that in there?
No. Let me clarify. Seattle is the coffee
capital
of the world.
All right.
No, it still is, but it's funny. I was recently there talking to some new baristas because when I go travel,
I saw that.
When I'm talking to them and they're young people, and I'm like, well, I'm from out of state and blah blah blah, and Seattle's the coffee capital of the world, and they're like, it is. I mean, they're just so thick in it they don't know it.
Right.
You go to one intersection. There's 4 independent coffee shops in one intersection. All different styles, all different things. But growing up and watching that whole thing happen, and mostly the need or the want to have a local spot to get a decent cup of craft coffee was a problem. I used to drive all the way over by the airport. I used to go over there to a coffee shop to get roasted coffee the way that I liked it.
Wow.
And I'd buy a pound, and then I'd drive all the way back. So it's 45 minutes with no traffic. It's an hour and a half to get a pound of fresh roasted coffee that wasn't burnt or wasn't low quality back in the day. And I thought, maybe we need one in Rio Rancho. You think?
Yeah.
So apparently other people shared that vision, and we're happy to be a community pace and be able to offer what we do 7 days a week.
And I think a lot of, where, the coffee house came from was community and being connected. It was a place to go and read a paper, talk to somebody, to really sit down and you see a lot of them that it is all about the community. I mean, some of the first businesses to actually have Wi-Fi and have, things where you could come in free Wi-Fi and stuff. It's tremendous. But yours is a little bit different in the fact that sometimes you could walk in and see a car on display.
Yeah, do
people ever come in and just sit down and talk to the car? Or do they just talk to themselves?
They try to mess with the cars. We ask them not to. Please don't get off the hood. Can you get your child off the hood? No.
Oh,
that's never happened. That's
okay,
never
thank
happened.
God. I was like, wow.
No. Kids get excited. But, for different reasons, sometimes we'll have a vehicle. And then, of course, COVID, when you couldn't have any seating, we had a rotating show going on between motorized vehicles, which is awesome. To fill it up, because no one likes to go in an empty room to order a coffee.
Right.
But we're happy to be a neighborhood place. You talk about the legacy or the history of coffee shops. It's actually ancient. Ancient. I mean, it's global. The whole idea of going to a coffee shop used to be a really big deal. They would hold, for political reasons in different countries, that's where groups would start and then become actual leadership bodies. And if you look at the history of coffee, there's books out there. Of course, I've read a ton of them, but it's ancient. It's ancient. The whole concept of having a community place where there's a beverage for people to share ideas and discuss or do business, that's ancient.
That's fabulous. And congratulations on
Thank you very much.
I mean, an early congratulations on your 10-year 10-year anniversary. But let's talk about what you do for the motorsports community. I mean, New Mexico Motor Events. I mean, you guys are involved in a lot of events, but one of the main things you do also is just a line of communication to people of what's going on and where they are and how to get involved. And I want to come back to the Toys for Tots.
Sure.
Because Rollins 9:30, does the show officially start at like noonish?
Yeah.
Okay. And so the public can come out and check out some cool cars. I thought I heard something about a hot wing eating contest.
It's legend, man. Come on, what are you doing?
Well, as a matter of fact, Drew told me it's almost dangerous, right?
We almost took him
Joe
down.
had to get out, right?
Yeah. So it's a wing eating contest. And periodically, people do what you just do, and they throw hot in there. Well, one year when Drew we finally talked Drew to come back and be a competitor.
Yeah.
And Drew can eat some hot wings.
Yeah.
And he won, but the person that made the wings made them hot and didn't tell anybody.
Oh.
And Drew just about had an episode, so it was rough.
Oh, so it was a wing eating contest?
It's a speed contest, not a how hot can you do it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and we've had different things over the years. Like sometimes they come out, they're not cool enough to handle yet, or that. So we try to manage that, and we've got some practice. But that's berserk, that whole contest. We usually have 6 to 10 competitors, and it's high energy, and everybody's cheering them on, and it's pretty funny. The people, you can never guess who's going to win.
So like cars, do you have to qualify in for something like that?
No.
Is it like, do you have to bring a resume? Do you have to have, a defending champ of other, food eating contests? I mean, is Joey Chestnut going to show up?
No. But, sometimes we have return champs.
Right.
That maybe not enter the show, and right when we're doing registration, like a previous champ will walk in the doorway and everybody goes, "Oh no, take my name off the list."
Do they roll in like Kid Rock?
Yeah.
They got
I'm Kid. Yep, exactly. We're trying to get, working with Joe, we're trying to get like one of those wrestling custom belts.
Oh, dude.
With the chicken wing that stays at the facility, but
awesome.
they get a they get to walk in with it. But
they get like a small, like a mini Borg.
Yeah, there you go. Here's one wing. No, Joe had a special plaque made with our local vendor.
Cool.
Trophies and more. Those guys are awesome. So yeah, it's fun. It's high energy. They've got a crazy MC, and he goes ballistic, and it's usually videoed by multiple people. It's fun and mayhem.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, it's super exciting.
All right, so Elite Tuner, gates open at like 4, doors
3,
open.
I think it's 3. Yeah.
Open 3. You can come out, Manuel Lujan building. So
yeah.
So be prepared.
Be prepared for parking or park in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Sometimes people go to the expo.
Yeah.
It's not like going to Cottonwood Mall, man. They got to pay their rent too.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely,
have a plan. People get really salty about that.
Yeah,
because it's expensive if you're not expecting it.
Right.
You're like, man, I can't get my cheese nachos. No.
Right. Well, I used to say out at the Speedway, each person that came out had a $20 budget.
Yeah.
So you could either leave it at the front gate or you could, leave it at the concession stand. I wanted them. That's why, I was a little out there. I wanted it to be free. Sure. I wanted people to come out and be free because we weren't selling out.
Right.
So it's like, hey, until it's like completely packed, why not do that? Because they're going to drop 20 at the concession stand.
Right.
And especially if they bring a kid with them.
Right.
I mean, the kid's going to want to drink, kid's going to want some cotton candy or something like that. So this event, this Toys for Tot, the Show and Shine, family friendly. I mean, there's stuff to do.
No fee to come and participate.
Right.
The only time that they're asking for a donation or a toy is if you're entering a vehicle that's going to be actually in the Show and Shine.
But if you wanted to bring a toy.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that drive up.
Yep.
Someone hops out of the passenger seat. They open the trunk. They're like, hey, I got these. Where do I go? We're like, right inside. And that happens a lot. Because sometimes people are busy. Yep. Maybe they come on their lunch break.
Yep.
Yeah, so no, that's fine. Or they look for Paul. Hey, who do we give cash donation to?
Paul is one of those guys that you can't say no to.
Yeah,
you
take your life in your own hands.
He got me a couple. He got me a couple of years ago.
It's that voice.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I mean, gosh, it's a way also
he's awesome
to show an appreciation for the freedoms that are given to us,
Such
by our
ambassador.
military.
Yeah,
and he's absolutely fabulous.
Absolutely. We love working with Paul. We love supporting him. This is a great show. We got a ton of sponsors out. We got Yearwood out there. We got Rio Rancho Tires. We've got the Rio Grande Mustang Club coming out.
Cool.
We've got Outlaw Desert Racing, Drew Garcia. We have some excursion people. We've got all kinds of people, man. There's all kinds of support for this. All the content's out there. Facebook, Instagram. Some people are doing TikToks. But, if you just type in 16th Annual Toys for Tot Show and Shine in a Google search, boom, 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 your feed will fill up and you can click on whatever.
Fantastic.
But it's at the Elks Club, 2500, pretty close to here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can look out the window and I could
just north of Intel.
It.
Like, if people aren't used to Rio Rancho, it's north of the Intel plant.
Right.
Next to the Italian-American facility.
Yeah, I mean, that's Sarah Road
from,
right there.
What is that, Cazuelas?
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Casuelas. Ooh, man, that's some good red chili.
I'll give you the actual. It's 1530 Barbara Loop Southeast Rio Rancho. Super easy to find.
Yeah.
And we've got a ton of people out there. We got Rio Rancho Off Road.
Yep.
We've got New Mexico Expedition, Patina Customs. We've got Goliath Customs, Defying Gravity, Team New Mexico. All kinds of great supporters. It's going to be cool. And we always have different vehicles. Sometimes we have Militaria.
Sure.
Sometimes we have, older, restored, public safety service stuff.
That's cool.
Hot rods, rat rods, trikes, slingshots, motorcycles, go-karts, mini dragsters, off-road thing. If it's got wheels, bring it on out.
Awesome. All right, Abe, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And, of course, we'll see you tomorrow. We're bringing out some ESPN radio swag as well.
Perfect.
So it's going to be...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, stay tuned. We're going to talk a little Xfinity silly season. Caught up with Kaz Gralla. Is going to be full-time in Xfinity. We caught up with him. Jonathan Field is going to join the show. You've been listening to the New Mexico Motorsports Report here on ESPN Radio, 101.7 The Team. Woo!